Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be comparing two micro helicopters to find out which one you should buy. On the chopping block I have the Blast XK K110 from banggood.com and the Firefox C129 from hobbyking.com. The Blast XK K110 is a 6-channel bind and fly micro helicopter capable of 3D maneuvers such as inverted flight. As a bind and fly helicopter, you use your own transmitter, you can adjust throttle curves, add dual rates, configure your Lapse switch, etc. The K110 can also switch between 3D mode and 6-axis gyro stabilization, has a brushless motor, and costs between $65 and $70. The Firefox C129 is a 4-channel ready-to-fly micro-helicopter with a 6-axis gyro, a brushed motor, auto takeoff and auto land button, a barometric altitude hold, and costs $49.99. The K110 comes in a sleek rectangular box. Inside the box, the K110 is beautifully displayed with the blades held together with blade holders. The K110 comes with instructions, spare main rotor blades, spare tail rotor, spare main gear, the battery, a USB charger for the battery, a hex wrench, and a tiny screwdriver. The C129 comes in a more square than rectangular box. Inside the box, the transparent plastic and the white plastic makes the C129 look like a toy. The C129 comes with instructions, main rotor blades, spare rotor blades, the battery, a USB-A to micro USB cable, tiny screwdriver, a hex wrench, and 2 control linkages for the swash plate. Both helicopters also come with the helicopters themselves. The instruction page for the K110 is not good, to put it nicely. The page is formatted incorrectly, with the front page appearing on the back of the brochure and the second page appearing on the front. The C129 takes the cake in the instructions category. The instructions are in English first, then Chinese, read from left to right, and include a section for troubleshooting. The instructions of the C129 also includes details on how the stick movements affect the flight of the helicopter. The K110 may be easy to set up for an experienced pilot, but it was very difficult to set up for me. Binding the K110 to my transmitter was easy, but after that, everything else had a steep learning curve for me. I had to learn how to program idle up, pitch curves, throttle curves, collective, dual rates, expose, and throttle cuts. In contrast, the C129 was stupid easy to set up. According to the instructions and my testing, you switch on the transmitter after placing the charged battery in the C129, quickly push up, then pull down the left stick to arm the helicopter, push both sticks in the bottom left corner to calibrate the gyros. Then you can either push the left stick in the bottom left corner and the right stick in the bottom right corner to spool up the helicopter. Pushing up on the left stick will make the helicopter take off. You can also short press the left button after calibrating your gyros to auto take off. The red LED will blink until the helicopter reaches 1 meter in height. You can also short press the left shoulder button to auto land the helicopter. Long pressing the left shoulder button will activate the emergency stop mode. When hovering, the C129 will orbit a sensor point. Control inputs look twitchy on the C129, but she's a smooth and responsive flyer. The 6-axis gyro ensures the C129 will not yaw unless you tell it to yaw. Despite the fact that the C129 is not literally stationary when hovering, it is so stable that you can fly it with one hand and even walk around and under it during flight. Now, for legal reasons, I have to tell you, don't do this. The C129 makes it very easy to do this, but don't. When the battery is low, the red light on the C129 will blink, and then the helicopter will auto land. After it lands, the red light will blink rapidly and the helicopter would not take off again, unless you recharge the battery. The K110 does not attempt to hover. Once enough lift is generated with the collective, the K110 will start to move in a particular direction. Control inputs are smooth and it doesn't take a lot to get the K110 to go fast. While difficult to perform precise maneuvers, the K110 is a very fun outdoor flyer with the tail gyro ensuring that the K110 does not yaw unless you tell it to yaw. I am only describing the flight characteristics as difficult because I am comparing the K110 to the C129. Take the K110 outdoors and you'll have a relatively smooth and enjoyable flight. Both of the helicopters look similar and are fun to fly, but the skill curve is a lot higher on one than the other. That one is the K110. If you want to add pitch curves, dual rates, and fly inverted, the K110 is for you. If you are new and plan on getting into helicopters, the C129 is definitely for you. The K110 is an intermediate flyer and a cheap introduction to collective pitch and 3D flight. This bind and fly variant ensures that you use the transmitter you already have. The main gear on the K110 sometimes becomes loose and simulates vortex ring state during normal flight. The C129 is cheaper, more stable, slower, and has one button for takeoff, landing, and emergency stop. The barometric altitude hold ensures that the machine stays at whatever altitude you give it. I prefer the C129 because its instructions are easy to follow, it's a very stable flyer, and can easily be flown indoors. My plan was to keep this K110 and eventually learn to fly inverted with the idle up mode, but I crashed it and broke the tail. This crash was no fault of the K110, but my own stupidity. I was flying during low light, a bit after sunset, and the helicopter was at a distance. It was a bit difficult to tell its orientation, so I opted to chop the throttle to avoid flying over someone. Usually this does nothing to the helicopter, but this time the tail boom broke and split into 4, revealing the internal wires. Luckily for me, if I ever wanted to fly the K110 again, I can either glue the tail boom back together or order a replacement tail boom from banggood.com. Both helicopters have spare parts online, but the parts do not go out of stock on Banggood. So that was my comparison and lightning review of these two fantastic micro helicopters. Which one do you have? Which one are you getting? Have questions about any of the helicopters? Let me know in the comments down below. Full reviews and affiliate links would be in the description down below. Thanks for watching everyone, see you on the go around.